God bless everybody. How are you today? Today is the 4th of March, 2019. It is Monday afternoon. I hope you are having a blessed day. Today's video, I'm going to do a special, and the topic will be on healing, because God is still, my friends, in the healing business. He's never stopped. He's also in the saving souls business. He's never stopped that neither. But the reason I want to do this today is because of what happened to me yesterday. Now, I'm going to backtrack a little bit, and I'm going to explain the reason was I stopped the comments on my videos. We know why. I gave, because I was getting threatened. But the reason why was because of the videos I was doing was geared towards non-believers, atheists, people that refused to even believe for even a minute second that there was a God, that he created this earth, and they always come at me with wanting proof. And no matter how much you would try to say, well, the Bible says this or that, they would always come back and say, well, the Bible, you can't use that, you can't this, you can't that. So anyways, it had, from a couple videos I did on non-believers, that's why the comments got squashed. Now it brings me to this point that I'm going to make, and then on to the video. Like I said, they always wanted proof. And I would tell them, well, there's plenty of evidence out there that God exists. You're a breathing, walking, talking example of that right now. But that's not ever going to be good enough for him. And it doesn't matter how many times I would say, well, I've witnessed, people being healed. I've witnessed, alcoholics being delivered from alcoholism and drug addicts being delivered from drug addiction. Doesn't matter how many times I say I've done that or that. It's never good enough. But it brings me to today and to the healing. I'm going to give a testimony today. Something different than I usually do. But I'm going to read a couple scriptures on healing and what the Bible says and what Jesus says. I'm going to start off in Mark 9, verse 23. And Jesus said unto him, If thou canst believe, all things are possible to him that believeth. Luke 8:50. These are all King James versions. But when Jesus heard it, he answered him, saying, Fear not, believe only, and she shall be made whole. And the last one, Mark 10, verse 52. And Jesus said unto him, Go thy way, thy faith hath made thee whole. And immediately he received his sight and followed Jesus in the way. We see throughout the Bible many examples where Jesus had healed people. We've seen him, heal the leopards. People that had leprosy. We've seen him heal the blind. We've seen him raise the dead, with Lazarus. And then there was a child sick that he raised, had the fever. And, there's so many examples. I could just go on and on. But my point being is God does heal. And there's so many examples where the scientific community, the medical community cannot explain a healing, a true miracle, a true healing from God. They cannot explain it. There's so many examples where people have been sent home from their doctor after being given devastating news. You've got 4 months to live. You've got 3 months to live. You've got 6 months to live. You've got inoperable brain cancer. You have leukemia. You have this, that, liver disease. You're incurable. There's nothing we can do for you. We'll try to keep you comfortable, but there's nothing science can do. There are so many examples on this very platform alone where people have been told those very, very, and let's be honest, scary words. It's especially when you don't believe and somebody tells you that. But these people did believe, and they went and got prayed for, and God delivered them. And doctors and scientists cannot explain. They've had tumors riddled in their brain. MRI shows this. CAT scans show this. They go and they get healed, and they come back to the same facility, have the same test. They put the one up on the screen with the tumors. They put the other one up. It's clean. Like it never, ever happened. Science can't explain that because it's God's healing. God still heals people. Now, brings me to today. Well, actually, brings me to yesterday, but to today's video. As you know, the last couple weeks I've mentioned, in passing, I've not been feeling well. At the beginning of the videos, I've asked for prayer. Well, I'll give you a little quick story because I've already gave, in other videos what happened to me, my history and all. But about 9 years ago, in that neighborhood, I was diagnosed with a very rare autoimmune disease that attacks my body. Basically, to put it in a nutshell, my immune system attacks my own body. In other words, your immune system is to ward off, to fight viruses, to fight infections, to, stuff like that. Well, mine attacks the good cells in my body. It thinks they're bad, meaning it thinks they're bad cells, or it thinks it's bacteria or virus or whatever. So my own body attacks itself, and then I get sick. And I have to go to an infusion center where you receive a chemotherapy drug, and I have to go a 2-month cycle, and usually it'll knock me back into remission, and I'll be fine for a while, and then I'll fall back out. So this has been an on and off, for 9 years, be in remission, fall out, go to chemo, be in remission, fall out, go to chemo. So the last couple weeks, I've been getting sick, and I've had the symptoms, and a lot of times I won't fall completely out of remission. I'll, just get some symptoms. I'll feel icky. They'll give me some medicine, and it'll combat it. I don't have to go to chemo, and then I'm back to normal, and we're good to go. Well, this is what I was thinking, was just another one of those type situations. And at first, it started out like that. I got sick. I called the doctor, got some medicine that I'm supposed to take, which is a steroid, very nasty drug, but it does the trick. So I started feeling a little bit better, and then I got worse. Then I started getting blood coming out of my mouth, and I knew that I wasn't, that this wasn't going well, because I'd already been on the steroids and the medication for 5 days now, 4 or 5 days. So it should have already started kicking in and doing its job, and it wasn't. So I started getting worried, and I woke up yesterday morning, and I had a low-grade fever. I felt like garbage. My mouth, my throat was all just inflamed. I was hurting a lot. I took aspirins for my, the head, the low-grade fever, and I went to church. No matter what, even when I'm in the middle of chemo, I go to church on Sunday. That's just, no matter how bad I feel, unless I can't physically drive that car, I'm going to be in that church service on Sunday morning, period. End of story. So I went yesterday, and I told my mother, I'm not well. I don't know how long I can make it into service, but I'm coming, because I also play music in the church, music group. So, and that usually helps lift my spirits, because I love playing music, and guitar, bass, and stuff like that. So lo and behold, before I knew, I'll get to the story, my mother, before I got there, the pastor had asked her to go back and get a little bottle of water, just a little 8-ounce bottle we have in church for people, to get if they're thirsty. Spring water, little spring water bottle. And they went up front, and I didn't know this. I wasn't at church yet. I was still on my way. My mother got there early, because they go early and pray. Her, the pastor, and a few other people from church, some of the elders, got around, and they prayed, and the pastor anointed that bottle of water. And he asked the Lord that for when I to drink that water, that he would cleanse me, that he would make it go away, basically. So I didn't know this. And at the end of the service, pastor called me up. I went up because mom did tell me, I believe, that he was going to pray for me, but I didn't know anything about the water. So I went up front, and she pulls out a little bottle of water from her sweater. Kind of surprised me. And he told me, we've anointed this bottle of water. We want you to drink it, and we're asking the Lord to deliver you right now, to take this sickness from you, from your body right now. Well, let me tell you, when I got there, I was miserable, okay? So I was willing. I mean, believe me, ladies and gentlemen, I was willing. I was willing and able. So I took the bottle, and they began praying, and I guzzled it in one drink. And I usually never do that. But I was, like I said, I was willing. You know, I was open and willing because I just felt like garbage. So I guzzled that whole bottle, and 8 ounces is not a lot. But I drank it in one drink. And they prayed for a minute or so. And then I went back to the back. And church was ending. And I packed up my guitar. And I started to leave the church. And I noticed that I wasn't feeling the way I was 10 minutes earlier. I was feeling better. My mouth and stuff, my throat wasn't irritated as it was prior. So I started to leave the church, and I started to leave, and I realized I started feeling better and better and better. And so I thought, no, I'm not going to leave this church. I'm going to go back up front because they were closing the service, and I'm going to tell the pastor that, you know, I feel better. It's unbelievable. It's not unbelievable, but you know what I mean. And so I went back up front, and I told him, I said, you know, my throat was just, if you've ever had strep throat, if anybody's ever had strep throat, you know how that pain is when you swallow, you know. Now, it's just excruciating, okay? If you've ever had that, you'll know exactly what I mean. Well, this is what it feels like every time I start to get sick. I have that real raw, just, you know, massive pain in my throat. But that was gone. I mean, my friends, it was gone. And I believe with all my heart that the Lord took that from me, and I feel better today. I'm from compared to yesterday, I'm a million times better than what I was yesterday. So I'm here to tell you that God's still in the miracle business. God's still in the healing business. And I'm here to tell every one of them people that found their way back months ago when I had to turn them comments off because I said God exists, God created this earth, God created every one of us, God is real. I'm here to tell every one of them I am standing, living proof. I know how I felt. I know what my throat and all looked like, felt like, was like. I know. Nobody can tell me that. Okay, that I don't know what I was talking about. All right, I know. And to be taken from you like that, nobody's ever going to tell me God don't exist. The people that see their way to, you know, have to be so ignorant and profanity-laden rants towards me, God bless you, because I'm telling you, God's real. God did this. So I'm doing this video for everybody, but I'm especially doing this video to all of those that do not believe God exists, to all of those that mock Jesus, that laughed, especially laughed at me in my videos, that wanted to make fun, say I was all kinds of whack names or whatever. That's fine. I just want to say God bless to every one of you, every single one of you. I want to say God bless you. I hope the Lord reveals himself to you, because I'm here to say he's real, and he's in the miracle and the healing business still to this day. So that's my video for today. I hope you enjoy it. Take care of yourself. God bless you. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the week. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.